Hello everyone, this is Caleb from Cosmic Hat Games with another Duels of Fortune character showcase. Hide your valuables and batten down the hatches, because today I'll be presenting the lunatic skeletal pirate, Captain SHIVERSKULL. SHIVERSKULL is a heavily rushdown focused character, with some minor set play aspects mixed in. SHIVERSKULL can call upon the various members of his pirate crew to assist him in battle, each having their own unique attack. The catch is that these crew members operate on a cycle, so you don't have access to every crew member at once, requiring you to manage your crew cycle and plan your offense and combo routes around it. Combine this with SHIVERSKULL's general high speed and his monstrous pressure capabilities, and it makes for an exhilarating and fast-paced game plan that will keep not just the opponent on their toes, but you as well. Let's set sail on this character showcase by going over SHIVERSKULL's command normals. SHIVERSKULL's back heavy is Davy Bones Locker. SHIVERSKULL swings a giant ghostly sword over his head. As you might imagine, this is SHIVERSKULL's primary standing overhead, giving him a way to perform high-low mix-ups without leaving the ground. It's not particularly fast, but it is powerful, so landing it is pretty rewarding in its own right. SHIVERSKULL's jumping down heavy is Booty Kicker. This move makes for by far the easiest and most consistent way to combo with aerial crew calls, thanks to its knockback and its generous hit stun time. In this way, it's great for helping SHIVERSKULL convert his aerial combos back into grounded ones. And lastly for command normals, SHIVERSKULL's dashing forward heavy is Walk the Plank. This is a relatively slow dash attack, but it's a strong one. It's one of SHIVERSKULL's most damaging normal attacks, and it hits overhead, giving SHIVERSKULL access to his devious mix-ups even while dashing. The one catch is that whiffing this move or having it blocked leaves you extremely vulnerable. High risk, high reward. A pirate is nothing without his vast arsenal of tools and tricks, so let's take a look at what SHIVERSKULL can really do with his special moves. Normally I would start with the neutral special, but what's much more important in SHIVERSKULL's case is his down special, Give No Quarter. This move calls in the crew member that's next up in the crew cycle, indicated by the HUD element above SHIVERSKULL's super meter. Whichever crewmate's icon is the largest is the one that will be called when you use the move. As previously mentioned, each crew member has a unique attack that they use when called. First up is Marrow, SHIVERSKULL's first mate. He drops in and fires off 2 consecutive flintlock shots. These shots serve to pop the opponent up into the air and hold him in place for a brief moment, allowing you to follow up in pretty much any way your heart desires. He's simple, but extremely effective for combos and fast space control. Next up is Mandible, the Cannoneer. He first slams his cannon into the ground, hitting anyone unlucky enough to be standing there. Then, after a short moment, he fires the cannon, launching a fast-moving cannonball projectile across the screen. Mandible's attack takes a while to get going, but offers some insane screen control that can give SHIVERSKULL the perfect opportunity to get in and deal some damage. Also, the first hit will always combo into the cannonball, in case you want to be stylish with it. And finally, we have Fang. I don't even know what his role in the crew is, to be honest. He's just a crazy gremlin creature. After dropping in, he'll leap over to the opponent and slash at them with his axe. Fang's attack tracks the opponent up to a certain distance, making him much more likely to actually hit his mark. It also hits opponents knocked to the ground, making it potentially useful in certain combo situations. Effectively managing your crew and playing to each of their strengths is one of the most important factors of playing SHIVERSKULL. These guys open up a ton of freedom to the character, so don't be afraid to get a little creative. Alright, now that that's all explained, we can move on to the rest of SHIVERSKULL's special moves. SHIVERSKULL's neutral special is Barrel O' Pain. SHIVERSKULL places down an explosive barrel in front of him. You can hit the barrel with any attack to light its fuse, which will make it explode after a short time. Hitting the barrel with any attack from a crewmate will make it instead explode instantly. You can also hit the opponent while placing the barrel down, which can even hit opponents knocked to the ground. This move can be a pretty nice aid to SHIVERSKULL's pressure game, helping keep opponents locked down for longer periods of time so you have more chances to open them up. SHIVERSKULL's back special is Reckless Rush. SHIVERSKULL charges forward at a blistering speed. If he hits the opponent along the way, he'll stop and perform a dual slash attack. Otherwise, he'll continue sliding forward, making him extremely punishable on a miss. Due to the slash attack causing a wall bounce, this move can be pretty rewarding if used at the right time, giving SHIVERSKULL a super fast way to get in that comes at a risk. The air version of the move works a bit differently though. SHIVERSKULL will charge at an angle towards the ground, and won't perform the follow-up slash on hit. This version of the move doesn't have as much startup, making it faster to use, but it's also a bit weaker overall. Use whichever version you feel works best for the situation. And finally, SHIVERSKULL's jumping special is Ship Sinker. SHIVERSKULL creates a giant ghostly sword and swings it downward, spiking the opponent into the ground with a hard knockdown. This move is pretty simple compared to SHIVERSKULL's other specials, that's all it really does. But its functionality as a combo ender thanks to the hard knockdown property is nonetheless tough to overlook. Land ho, mateys! Let's wrap up this plundering spree by showing off SHIVERSKULL's supers. SHIVERSKULL's primary super is Cannonball! SHIVERSKULL assembles his crew to help him launch himself out of a cannon, propelling himself at an insanely high speed across the screen. Seems a bit dangerous, but hey, you can't kill what's already dead. Upon hitting the opponent, or simply having the attack blocked, SHIVERSKULL will do a stylish backflip and be a bit more safe as a result. However, if the opponent avoids the move outright, SHIVERSKULL will end up splatting against the back wall, leaving him extremely vulnerable. This, combined with the somewhat awkward timing, can make this super a bit tricky to use, but for hitting your shot, you're rewarded with some of the most damage a super can deal without extra resources. So it's hard to say it isn't worth it. And SHIVERSKULL's down super is More Swords! SHIVERSKULL summons a ring of swords around him, which spin around and hit the opponent if they come into contact with them. The swords will begin to vanish after a certain number of hits, or they'll all vanish immediately after a few seconds, so you only have a limited amount of time to make use of the super. Attacking the opponent directly isn't the only thing you can do with this super though. Pressing super again with More Swords active will perform Sword Spear, which removes one of the swords from SHIVERSKULL's ring and fires it off as a projectile. You can fire the sword straight forward or angle it towards the ground by holding down when pressing the super button. Since there are 8 swords in the ring, you can do this up to 8 times before you run out. This allows you to choose between approaching the opponent with the sword ring active or firing off a storm of projectiles instead. Since you don't have to fire all your swords at once, you can even mix the two strategies a little bit, giving you plenty of options with how to use this super. It's endlessly versatile. Strategically use SHIVERSKULL's crew and his rushdown capabilities to get yourself in and pressure the opponent until they crack. Execute stylish and dynamic combos that make use of SHIVERSKULL's crew in unique ways, and make the opponent learn to respect you as the captain. SHIVERSKULL is absolutely a force to be reckoned with when you're playing well and fighting on your terms. He's not unstoppable though, as he's also very high risk, and can die somewhat easily due to lacking solid defensive options and being on the lower end in terms of health. Still, as long as you stay on the offensive and don't let up the pressure, you can mitigate these weaknesses and show the opponent who's boss. That's all for today's showcase. If you like what you see, why not give us a follow on Twitter or join the Discord community to keep up with the game's development. Links are in the description. We hope you look forward to the open beta release of Duels of Fortune, and to more showcase videos like this one. Thank you so much for watching.